They say the mirror never lies, but what if it shows you something you've never dared to see? This is the story of a man, and the mirror that told him the truth no one else would. He was admired. He helped the elderly cross the street, bowed politely to the mayor, and smiled generously at the market. Children liked him, elders praised him, and strangers trusted him. But at home, his words were sharp, like knives. He spoke with irritation, rolled his eyes at his aging parents, and ignored the pain of those closest to him. What no one knew was that the kindness he wore outside was just a performance. He had built a version of himself that everyone loved, while slowly forgetting who he truly was inside. And the saddest part? He believed he was good, simply because others said so. One rainy evening, as he was walking home under the sound of thunder, an old man stopped him. The stranger wore a tattered cloak and carried nothing but a small, circular mirror wrapped in silk. "This is for you," he said softly. "It shows the truth no one else dares to tell you, not your reflection, but your soul." The man chuckled, amused, but accepted the mirror anyway. That night, out of idle curiosity, he unwrapped it and looked inside. What he saw made him step back. Gone was the familiar smile. Instead, he saw eyes hollowed by selfishness, a face heavy with pride, and a sadness he never acknowledged. He slammed the mirror face down. "This is cursed," he whispered. But deep down, something had been stirred. He couldn't believe what he had seen. "That can't be me," he muttered. "I'm a good person. Everyone says so." His heart raced. His thoughts swirled. The mirror had to be broken, or worse, cursed. He stormed out the next day and showed it to his closest friend. "Look, this mirror shows lies." But his friend only saw a clean, ordinary reflection. "I don't see anything strange," he said. "It's just you. Why are you so upset?" The man grew restless. He wrapped the mirror in cloth, shoved it into a drawer, and slammed it shut. "I don't need this," he said. "I know who I am." But at night, when the house was quiet and his smile had faded, the memory of the reflection crept back into his mind like a shadow. It wasn't the image that haunted him. It was the realization that no one had ever told him the truth, not even himself. Days passed. The man avoided the mirror, but something inside him had cracked. Kind words now felt rehearsed. Applause rang hollow. He began noticing the discomfort in others' eyes when he spoke too sharply, the hesitation in their laughter, the silence after his footsteps. One evening, unable to bear the unease, he took out the mirror again. This time, he didn't look away. He stared, and the mirror didn't mock or accuse, it simply reflected. A man with tired eyes, a furrowed brow, a face that had been hiding pain for years. In that stillness, tears formed. He saw the pride that pushed people away. He saw the walls he had built around his heart. He saw a boy who once wanted to be loved, but learned instead to perform. He sat for hours, no defenses, no excuses, just honesty. And in that moment, something long buried began to breathe. He didn't change overnight, but the man who once needed praise now sought peace. He apologized to his wife, not just for what he did, but for what he never noticed. He visited his aging parents, this time not to impress, but to truly listen. He laughed less, but more sincerely. He spoke less, but with more care. And slowly, the weight on his chest began to lift. The mirror no longer frightened him. Instead, it became his companion, a quiet reminder to remain true, to check not his face, but his heart. And though he still stumbled, he always returned to the mirror, not to judge, but to grow. Years passed. His face grew older, but his eyes, once cold and guarded, were now warm and steady. People still admired him, but for different reasons. Not for his charm, but for his honesty. Not for his image, but for his presence. Then one quiet autumn day, the old traveler returned. They sat beneath a tree, the same mirror between them. "You came back," the man said with a smile. "I just wanted to thank you for this gift." The traveler looked at him gently and replied, "I gave you no gift. I only held up a mirror. What you chose to do with it, that was your courage." And with that, the traveler rose, leaving the mirror behind. This time, not as a test, but as a companion. A friend the man would never again hide from. We all wear masks. We all avoid certain truths. But growth begins the moment we stop running and start reflecting. So today, take a moment. Look into your inner mirror. Ask yourself, not what others see, but what is truly there. And if this story made you reflect, share your thoughts in the comments. Like this video if it spoke to your heart. Subscribe to Whispers of Wisdom for more stories that awaken the soul. Because sometimes, the softest stories hold the sharpest truths.